All right, we are back with another PrizePicks video. Going to be talking NBA in this one. Only 2 games on the slate for tonight, but decent amount of injuries happening. So I think there's a few guys that we can definitely go ahead and attack. Going to ultimately bring you guys 5 picks and even talk about a 6th player that's not on the board yet, but I think he has a lot of value. But if you're new to this channel, definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're growing like crazy. Almost 2 months on the platform now. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers. So would love to get there in maybe today, maybe tomorrow. It's definitely coming. So join the family. Like the video so more people can see it. And comment down below if you like one of these picks, if you don't like one of these picks, or maybe other picks that maybe other people will enjoy. But our video picks from last time are up on the board. We did have a solid day, 4 for 5. We're always liking when we profit here. So doubled up last night. We'd actually ordered it in terms of confidence, or in chronological order, but it ended up being in confidence. Now, I already submitted this before the video, so it's a little out of order. But Luka was our least confident play. Kyrie Irving ended up not playing that game, but ended up just going under. I think he plays a few more minutes if this game's closer. But, that's okay, because the other 4 guys came through for us. The 2 sweats for us on the night were definitely Keegan Murray and also Paolo. He had, a couple chances down the stretch in a game that Chicago came back, tied the game with like 8 seconds left, and then Paolo ended up getting the game winner. Thank God there was no overtime. But yeah, that was a sweat. Murray was a sweat, and then Sabonis got 2 early turnovers. Trey dominated the dominated the Knicks in terms of assisting the ball. He had like 17 assists, so this number's wrong. Didn't score a whole too much. I think he had like 20, and the Hawks ended up losing by like 2. So going to try to replicate this and maybe even do better. And let's jump right into the board here. So first up, again, we always go chronologically here, just so if you're trying to squeeze these in before game time. Going to attack the Nets today. But before we jump into things, I do want to go over to RotoWire. We did just partner up. I know I talked about it potentially happening, and we did just partner up. So I have a link in the description if you guys want a completely free 2-day free trial on this. And even after that, it's not an expensive subscription at all. It's under $10. But yeah, no credit card required. You can just hit the link in the description and you'll get a 2-day free trial to explore this. And it's awesome. It gets to show you projected lineups, so you'll be able to see what you're expecting. On top of that, you'll be able to see the injuries. And they even give you a key of like very likely, unlikely, toss-up. So like a true game time decision, likely, and then very likely to play. So you'll really get an idea of who's playing. And I love attacking injuries because I think if you have knowledge of the game and being able to use tools like this, it really gives you an edge. So for the Brooklyn Nets, this is a team that I'm going to be attacking based off injury news. With Ben Simmons and Cam Thomas still out of the game, we can see easily the projected minutes here at Mikal Bridges getting 34, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cameron Johnson all over 30. Nick Claxton's minutes inching back up as he kind of returns to full form this year. And then Royce O'Neal getting the decent amount of play off the bench. Lonnie Walker and Dennis Smith as well. So on top of that, we can see the on-off court stats, which is huge to be able to tell who's going to get the biggest bump here. And we see in the 20 minutes this lineup's played together, the starting lineup for tonight. Mikal Bridges' usage rate is absolutely insane at 40%. So definitely someone we want to look at. And then with Ben Simmons and Cam Thomas out, we can see who's getting the biggest bumps in the amount of minutes they've played. So let's jump into this tool and be able to see what it can bring to us. Quickly add to the players that are not playing tonight. We got Ben Simmons, if we could find him. Well, we got Cam Thomas right here. And then let's go find Ben Simmons. It's in, yeah, there he is. So Ben Simmons and Cam Thomas. Let's go ahead and view the stats. Now, this will give us per 36 minute stats on like the total amount of minutes that those guys have been off the floor. We'll be able to see, just who to kind of attack. And we can see the usage rate here. We can see, how many points these players are getting. You see the games next to you, so you can see, okay, Dinwiddie's averaging 20.7 points, 4.1 rebounds, and 7.3 assists. A guy that maybe hasn't been doing the best plays pretty well when these guys are off the court. In terms of differential, maybe let's go to assists, and we see Dennis Smith Jr. is getting a whole bunch of more assists, and Spencer Dinwiddie's also getting a 1.2 assist boost here. So really, you can see the differentials between these guys with these players off the court, and it's very, very, very useful when attacking injury bets. So we can look at more into this, but let's just get into the first pick that I'm going to be talking about. Kind of just alluded to him there, but it's going to be Spencer Dinwiddie, and it's going to be his assist at 6.5. This might seem high to what he's done so far this year, but we saw him get 9 against Orlando in a seemingly difficult matchup against Orlando just the other day. So Miami is a solid matchup for point guards in terms of getting assists. We can go check out his Outlier page. Also, if you're see me use this app, this is outlier.bet. We also have a free 7-day free trial, so that link will be in the description if you're interested in this. This gives you a lot of visuals on pretty much anything you'll need to see like how they've been doing in terms of their assist line, in terms of their points line, in terms of any of the lines, and you can really see it in a very seamless visual display. So let's go open up Dinwiddie's page here, and you can see sometimes I just look players up that I want to bet on, and you can get the implied probability and just search from that. So his assists was looking good, and they're really liking it. A -124. This has kind of been moving around from -124 to -130, but the odds of this are plus money on the over. So that's something I like to see right off the bat. And again, without Ben Simmons on the floor, this was one of those games, and I believe these two were these games as well. The Boston one was kind of a blowout, didn't get a whole bunch of minutes, only 20 minutes here. And the Washington game, maybe just a fluke one there with only 3 assists. But I think I see his usage rate going up against this Heat team, and we can actually see the stats with them off the floor. So let's get Ben Simmons out of here. Let's get Cam Thomas out of here. Both those guys have been out the past few games. And we can see 1 of 3 games, but again, maybe kind of getting the footing, getting that point guard role back with Ben Simmons handling a lot of that when he's playing. So, the minutes have been increasing. I think I kind of expect what did RotoWire say, about 31 minutes. So he'll be on this 31-minute range. This was kind of a fluke game. But I'm liking Spencer Dinwiddie at this spot. We can also just check this free app over here against point guards, and we can go to assists. We see that that's definitely the best stat to attack when going up against the Heat. They're giving up 9.2 assists to point guards. So assuming that Dinwiddie gets the amount of minutes that he should, I'm really liking this spot for Dinwiddie. So that'll be our first net. We're actually going to go to 3 nets today, just because I'm seeing a lot of value in that team. Next up is we're going to go to Bridges. We saw on RotoWire the big, huge boost he gets in usage with this lineup. So I think you could go to Bridges in a lot of different ways. But I like the best thing that I like is his rebounds line at 5.0. And this is one that we can see on Outlier visually that he's been pretty consistently getting this line. The past 5 games here, he's averaging 7.2. If we go back to RotoWire real quick and we go to the stats differential page, we can go to rebounds, and we see that Mikal Bridges is actually averaging 1.8 more rebounds per game. So that's a boost right there. And that's the minutes without Ben Simmons and Cam Thomas on the floor. If we go to rebounds and want to see exactly how many rebounds he's averaging 7.6 rebounds. So on a 5.0 line, he's averaging 7.6 rebounds per 36 minutes without these other 2 guys. I'm really liking that. It's 2.5 point boost. So to visually see that, though, let's go over to his Outlier page and really dive into this. We got a whole bunch of tools, guys, now. So not only do you get the picks, but you get deep analysis on why I like these picks. So let's go to over 4.5 rebounds. It is a -132 at 4.5. It got a boost to 5.0. I think that's trending in the right direction. I don't love that boost or bump or whatever you want to call it, but consistently gone over this in 2023. 9 of 11 games, he's gotten at least 5. And solid matchup going against Miami, who are allowing 21st in terms of rebounds allowed. So I like this matchup for Mikal. I think he gets a ton of minutes, like we saw with RotoWire, and he averages a lot more without Ben Simmons and Cam Johnson in the lineup. So really liking that. Just again, a visual here. 3 of 3, he's gone over this. He got 5. Those would be pushes. Those wouldn't hurt us. And then he had 13 against Washington. So could get a lot of run in what should be a close game. Next up, let's go to our last net of the day, and that will be Nick Claxton. So someone that hasn't been getting the most minutes, but we can see his minutes trending in the right direction. I'm actually going to go to his 2.5 blocks and steals. This is something that, he could definitely get last year a whole lot, but he's only had about 4 games or so far this year, and he's going up against a great matchup for him to be able to get this line. Let's go to his page real quick. Implied probability, we will see that his points per assist is going to be under. His points rebounds are going to be under. That's why I'm not really going after that. We don't know his minutes limits here. But blocks and steals is going to be our best over for the day. Other than just steals, I don't know if that's actually on the board. But he's been blocking the shots even in the limited minutes he's been getting. 2023, again, he's only played 3 games. But he, as RotoWire pointed out, he should get around 28 minutes and be able to get this line. Now, they're going up against Miami, who's not the best in terms of allowing blocks and steals. Middle of the road in blocks, which is what we're going to be thinking of mostly here. And then steals, they're ranked 7th. But if we look at the head-to-head matchups, he hasn't had any problem, hitting this line. He's gotten 3 in the last 4 matchups. He's hit this line in 3 of the 4. If we go back to these were pretty later on in the. These were like 2 seasons ago. These were just last year. So 2 and 3 of the last 3 matchups we'd like to see. So I'm liking Claxton. The odds are liking it at -120. It's minus 106 to go under. So I like his spot. I like his matchup. I like his potential for getting a decent more minutes. And I think he gets there for us. So a stack for the Nets. If you're a Nets fan, you probably like to see this. But let's keep moving on and get these last 2 picks in here. The next matchup we're going to be talking about is going to be the Thunder and the Warriors. Now, with the Warriors being without Steph Curry and Draymond Green, that brings a very big question mark of who's going to be handling the ball, who's going to be like their isolation scorer, and how's that offense going to work? Because we haven't seen much of this team without Steph Curry and Draymond Green since about 2 years ago when they were both injured. And Clay was injured too. So that was the team that, lost the lottery, and that was a few years ago. But Draymond, rightfully so, got suspended, so he'll be out for the next 5 games after putting Rudy Gobert in a chokehold. If you haven't seen that, go watch that video. It's pretty hilarious. And then Steph Curry out with his injury. I think it's like a knee injury that he's kind of just lingering, and they're hoping it's not as serious as it is. We actually can see the description here. They released an official statement after he underwent an MRI, but it's supposed to be considered day to day. So Steph is out, Draymond is out. So who do we attack here, and why? So Chris Paul should be handling the ball a ton. If we can see their projected minutes here, Chris Paul should get around 34. Clay should be expecting around 33. Saric is the guy that I was kind of talking about at the beginning of the day. We're not seeing any Saric lines just yet. I don't think, but if he gets there, I think he is one of the guys that definitely benefit from having no Clay and no Steph Curry. He's a scorer. He's a rebounder. And another guy that I really like today is Andrew Wiggins. We can see with the on-off court stats here, we see that Saric is getting a huge boost at 11.3% more usage. Chris Paul also going to get a huge boost at 8.2. And then just another guy that I'm looking at is going to be Andrew Wiggins here. And it's, very minuscule, but gets a little bit more usage when these guys are out. My thought process when looking at this game is to attack the Golden State Warriors and how that's going to work. So Klay Thompson is a guy that can score very, very well. He'll have Chris Paul trying to assist him. So I could see, Chris Paul correlating his more assists with Klay Thompson's more points. Now, Klay Thompson's not going to, ISO the ball and get to the rim, at will. He's very much more of a catch and shoot player. We saw him score 60 points, a few years ago without dribbling the ball like more than 10 times. Andrew Wiggins, I think, is the guy that is going to be their ISO scorer, but he hasn't had a good game just yet. But he's someone I'm very interested in, and kind of definitely want to look at his page. So he's going to be our first pick for this one. I will start by saying Chris Paul's assist is at 9.5. This is favored to go over. And if I wanted to look at a Chris Paul line, I like his rebounds line to at least push. So if you're okay with the push, maybe look at that. But his rebounds or his assist line is something that the odds are really liking. It's something that makes sense if Klay Thompson will be the leading scorer on this Warriors team today. And he should have the ball in his hands a lot. So he hasn't done it much this season, I think only once or twice. But I could definitely see that hitting as well. Just a little scarier for me. I think I'm going to go to Wiggins, which might not be the right move because he hasn't performed well at all this season. But again, talking about the offense and how this might work, Andrew Wiggins might have to, take control of being the guy that, maybe dribbles around and gets to the rim at will. Or not at will, but, to score. So I'm going to go to his, not just his points. This was at 14.5. I was liking it there. It did get pushed. I'm going to go to his 19.5 points and rebounds, which, if you think about it, makes sense. No Draymond Green. He'll probably get a few more rebounds. No Steph Curry. He should get a few more points. But let's go into his outlier page real quick and kind of see what he's been doing so far this year and maybe why I like it. So we got him here, and we can see the implied probability. His over 14.5 points was definitely probably the best play for today, but it's good to see that, the odds are liking his over points right now. So if we go into this page, again, I wish I got it before that, but he's only gone over this line one time this year, the entire year, only gone over it once. And they've played a bunch of games, 12 games. So he's gone over this in 8% of the games. But Steph Curry out of the lineup and Draymond Green out of the lineup, there's a whole lot more usage to be had. So if we look at his field goals made and attempted, this was the game that we saw, or what one of these games? One of these games we saw without, I think it was this one. This is the game that Rudy Gobert and Draymond and Clay all got ejected, or not Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels, Clay, and Draymond all got ejected, and we saw him shoot the ball a whole lot. He shot 27%, but he shot the ball a whole lot. So I think if this continues, I see his points going up. He shouldn't shoot 27% again. He'll be more in that 40% range that he usually is. He should be higher than that if he was, supposed to be one of their better scorers this year. But again, I'm just liking his field goals attempted at least without these guys in the court. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. And then in terms of his rebounds, kind of the boost here, it's minus 132 to go over 4.5. So that's something I like as well. So if we're getting his points line that's projected to go over at 14.5, we're getting it at 15. I like our really good odds to go over this 4.5 rebounds line. And we can see he's been pretty consistent at hitting this line a little bit better than his points at 7 of 12 games. And if we extend this to games without Draymond Green, I haven't done that just yet, but looks like he's hit it in 2 of the 3 games. So I like the combo here. I think Wiggins, he's going to plan. He didn't plan to be the leading scorer in that game when those guys got ejected in the first 2 minutes of the game. But I think the game plan will be he'll be the ISO guy, the guy that's attacking the rim when they need a bucket. And I think I could see him scoring a decent amount and grabbing a few boards. So that's how I'm going to attack the Warriors. I talked about Chris Paul as well. And then if Dario Saric jumps onto the board, he'd be someone I'm looking at also. And then on the other side of things, I kind of went through each of these players on Outlier to see kind of their best implied probabilities, which simply just means like what Vegas thinks. And the guy I landed on is going to be Lou Dort. If we look at his implied probabilities, we can see that, under his points, rebounds, assists, I don't know about that. I don't know if, they take advantage of the fact that there's no Steph, there's no Draymond, and maybe they kind of get anything going. Their defense will probably be struggling. They'll have, Moody and Kuminga playing more minutes, who are solid defenders, but just younger. But the thing I saw was his rebound or his steals and his blocks, and he's crushed this line all year. So let's jump into his page. 2023, 9 of 11 games he's gone over this. Now, we do see that the Warriors don't allow people to block them very much, and they don't allow people to steal the ball very much. They're about middle of the road. But again, this isn't the Warriors that we usually see. We're going to be seeing a lot more Kuminga. We're going to be seeing a lot more Moody. Those guys are less experienced players, and Dort, I think, could expose that. So minus 130 to go over this, and we're getting it at PrizePicks. That's about as good as you're going to get. He's gone over this in 9-11 games, going up against a depleted Warriors team. I really like this spot for him, and, it's something that it could go either way just because it's such a lower line. Like 0.5 lines are always kind of quote-unquote scary to do, but he's been crushing this line, and I'm going to definitely trust him. He's the best defender on that team. Maybe Chet now, I don't know. But in terms of guard and small forward defenders, he's their guy. So if he matches up with Kuminga and Moody a decent amount, I could definitely see him crushing this line. So that will be the 5 picks. We talked about Saric potentially being someone to go to once he jumps onto the board. Whole bunch of more usage when Steph and Draymond are off the court. And if you're going to be attacking to Chris Paul, who I think will have the ball a lot, I think maybe his assist line is the way to go. If you also maybe think Klay Thompson's going to score a lot, I think those correlate pretty well. But these are our 5 picks for right now. 3 Nets players and then 2 for the later game. I will zoom in and kind of go over them. Spencer Dinwiddie at 6.5 assists. We're liking that. Mikal Bridges at 5.0 rebounds. Maybe some push potential there, but he's been hitting that line and over pretty consistently. Nicholas Claxton at 2.5 blocks and steals. Solid matchup against Miami. He's done it in the past against Miami, and potentially seeing his minutes rise as the season goes on. Andrew Wiggins at 19.5 points and rebounds. We're going over that as well. And then Lou Dort at over 1.5 blocks and steals. So liking that spot for these 5 guys. Definitely check out the links for the free trials for Outlier, for the free trial for RotoWire. And for RotoWire, you don't even have to put in your credit card. So 2-day free trial for RotoWire. It's definitely helpful, especially for injuries. And then 7-day free trial for Outlier. But definitely use the links if you're going to do that. And let's make some money tonight. Peace out.